Bäst på det. Okay. Hi, Pelin. Now we're live.
Oh, really?
That's the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome. Yeah, and first of all, congratulations for doing such a great job.
Thank you. Not as good as you know.
Thank you. Yeah. But now we're live here from Explorico's Aim to North Conference Symposium about AI and to this year's.
Yeah, finally, after 2 years sitting at home and doing nothing, we are here together live and alive.
Yeah, so that's very nice. And this year's topic is about AI and ethics, right?
Yeah.
And with a lot of cool speakers.
Yeah, we had a really interesting presentations, and some of them took us back to medieval ages. Some of them brought us to future, like you did it. And I think it was really nice to know, but we should just look to today and focus on what we are investing and making sure that we are aiming for that future. I think it was fantastic.
Yeah, very good. So we are having some of the speakers here during the lunch break now. We're in the middle of the lunch. If you're hearing all the people buzzing, this is what you kind of you miss if you're not here. But anyways, we give you a sneak peek. And first of all, David, join us. Hey, you in the middle. In the middle. Yeah. How are you?
I'm well.
Yeah.
Now, well, if you asked me a couple of hours ago, I'd be very nervous. Why? Because it was empty here.
Yeah.
There was no people. I thought, oh my God, people stayed home throughout the pandemic and they never came out. And then after about 9:30, something happened. And now it's almost full. So I think it's great.
Yeah, it's brilliant to see all the people again. But can't you just tell us really shortly, what is Explorico and what is the AIM Symposium all about?
Exactly. Explorico is a startup studio. So we work with tech startups in early stages, in pre-seed stages. And obviously, the important thing here is to work with the entire ecosystem around the startup and everything that the startup needs. So what we do is to work through what we call the pentahelix model, where you have 5 innovation stakeholders. You have startups themselves, of course. A lot of innovation is happening there. You have academia, universities. You have public sector. You have the big companies. And you have the investors. So the whole idea here with AIM is to bring those together. Let them talk, let them meet. We go for a party afterwards, and this is really when stuff happens. So that's basically the main idea.
And I think I've been part of this now. Is this the 5th or 6th time?
It's actually the 4th time.
So I dreamt about it a couple of times. Yeah,
actually, it would have been the 6th time if it wasn't for the pandemic.
And that's the thing.
It's a bit of break, of course. Yeah.
Very cool. But thank you so much. So now we're So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's bring in some of the speakers. Yeah,
Yes.
maybe you can do the introduction. Yeah, first of all.
Yeah, as I said also during the speeches, like he doesn't need any introduction. He is the most important key person in whole startup ecosystem. Actually, Trond Driver Knudsen.
Hey.
It was really nice to have you here. I don't know if you recall, but 2 years ago when we were having this program for the last time, I was on the Shark Tank stage. And you were one of the sharks.
Yeah, right.
It's always
remember,
nice to have
yeah.
you. Yeah.
Good to be here. Very good to be here.
What do you think about the whole event and our focus on ethical AI this time?
Yeah, I think it's a very important event for the startup ecosystem in Norway. And as you know, I think we believe that particularly in more deep technology, where you can leverage the fact that we have wonderful data sets in Norway and are very AI, town to create that kind of a very meaningful impact on the world. And I think ethical AI is a particularly important topic, where I think our kind of Nordic values, culture, transparency can help to set the standard in the world. So I'm super excited about being here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So if AI is actually learning from Norwegian mind, then it can have a plus effect.
Yeah, we should be a little bit careful. But I think, the ethical considerations, the notion of transparency, the care for privacy, all things that are quite important for us. So I think we can help to develop models, solutions, and platforms that are good for the world.
Yeah.
That's my hope.
Okay. We will lead, they will follow, hopefully.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Trond. Thank you, Trond. I just had to go and check the sound, but he did all okay. Yeah, let's bring in the next guest.
Yes.
Stand in here.
Yeah, one of the many female and successful entrepreneurs on AI space, Gru.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, just give us a short kind of introduction, a summary of what you talked about on stage today.
Yeah, so I talked about the importance of security and privacy controls, and especially in conversational AI.
Because conversational AI, like in chatbots or like in what kind of? Yeah.
Chatbots or voice or...
Why is that so important? I mean, it's pretty obvious, but can you be a little bit more specific on why it's so important?
Yeah, I think like when we're creating technology, we have a responsibility to secure the behavior and protect the privacy of the individuals using the service. And it's also important to build trust to our customers, to further scale the company.
Yeah, because that's one thing that I feel really strongly about, that trust issue that we kind of challenged a little bit because everything has been too open. We haven't been too good at taking care of security. Do you think that companies can kind of build that trust back again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because in building relationships with your clients, you need that trust. It's so easy to change your vendors, for instance. Yeah. So how should they go about, thinking about security in voice?
I think security should be throughout the company. It's not just a security team job, it's an effort from the entire company.
So you need to build kind of a understanding, a culture for taking security.
Yeah, the security culture is crucial.
That's good. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
And Guru is not alone when she's doing this. Actually, she has a really cool teammate called Lace. If we can actually take her over here, maybe she can tell a little bit about how they are implementing ethical AI in their practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
The question was how Boost is implementing ethical AI in practice.
Exactly.
Well, we have a lot of focus on training our employees, making sure that we have a culture of respect of privacy laws, and that people really understand their role in implementing privacy in the organization. And that's been crucial for gaining engagement within the company and to make sure that there's compliance throughout the company. That's been our focus.
I mean, this is important stuff. But for you coming to a conference like this, a symposium like this, where there are investors and there are the representatives from the businesses and from the academia, what does places like this mean?
Well, I think it's important that everyone is involved in this type of discussion when it comes to ethical development of AI, because as we talked about, everyone has its role in making sure that AI development progresses in the right direction. So from the intention on the concept of the idea for the technology, all the way through the coding and the implementation and the use of technology, we're all responsible for the impact that technology is going to have in the world. So I think it's great that we all get together, people from research, investors, startups, everyone has an important role to play
Yeah.
in this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So now let's bring in the next guest. You know them all, right? You introduced most of them today.
Which one?
Yeah.
I think we will go with Nabil.
Yeah.
He was the next person who would actually get paid for making everyone laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. And we laughed together before. Actually, we know one another.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. We met before. Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. Yes,
I didn't know that.
No.
yes.
Welcome. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
What do you think about the conference so far?
Amazing. Actually, I'm impressed about the conference, but really happy that the COVID restrictions are over now. So we have a lot of social interaction. We meet many people. We can talk to them live. So I know you digitally, basically. But we never talk live now, and I'm really happy to see the people and have this our life back. So we were in a big jail. Until now.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, in terms of the topics that we talked about here today, or talking about on this conference, what do you feel about AI and ethics and all that stuff? Is it hard?
It's not hard. Basically, it's a global understanding that we have to succeed. Actually, so AI is not a bad thing. Many people are so scared about AI and thinks that if we develop artificial intelligence machines, that they will take our job, we will lose our privacy, we will it can be used as a weapon against many it was some description about Russia, but no, there is a big positive part of AI. And I think we should give the scientists the freedom to be creative, to develop AI technology, because this is the only way that we can deal with the big global challenges like global warming, climate change, food security, energy security. So many things are getting unmanageable, and the human being alone will not be able to manage those systems and those production sites. So we need machines with real AI. That was my talk today. Real AI that can help us to really tackle those challenges in the future.
And talking about real AI, how do you define real AI?
Basically, we have a lot of AI technologies now that do amazing things. They can do pattern detection. They can basically machine. They can program by humans to do things that even human cannot do. But real AI is more than just machine that can do things. But we need to understand the world. We need to imagine the future. We need to invent the future. Basically, we don't need to predict the future. We want to invent a new future. We want to make, and this is not possible with the actual neural networks. Because they are models from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and the development on the neural networks stopped, unfortunately, at that time. So we have to develop new models, new neural network based on the human or evolution in biology, and then try to make real AI machines that can understand as the human understand, that can plan, that can imagine things, and then can create a future.
If you were to give an advice, because I feel that we share kind of the same view, I think that there's a lot of stopping in development because lack of knowledge or lack of understanding what AI is actually all about. What is there one thing that a general person should start reading and understanding? What is your recommendation?
In a book, to read the book?
A book or article or topic or whatever.
I read the book In Search of Memory, Eric Kandel. So Eric Kandel was one who got a Nobel Prize on. He did a lot of research on biology and the brain, and every Nobel Prize person wrote a book, and he wrote the book In Search of Memory. It's amazing things. So how he described how his brain works and how the real intelligence of the human works and so on. It gives you a lot of insight about opportunities that we have using artificial intelligence, mimicking the human brain, try to make real AI for the service of the society.
I have one question,
Yeah.
because one thing which was impressive with Nabil's background was the ability actually to turn the research into patents and money, the grants. 800 million kroner we are talking about here. So how do you actually explain that you and your team were able to attract the attention at the right time for developing this project, and how are they going to be implemented in real life?
So basically, if you would like to attract a lot of money, you need good people, and I'm really happy that we have world-class people that are showing the real trends and the real needs, and then you have also very nice partners with you with the real problem cases, and this is really a combination about great scientists, industry willing to uptake the science, make it into product. This is basically the best formula, and I heard like a few months ago that in the EU we have only 20% of companies using AI, so that's not much. So we need to motivate more companies to use AI, but for the best service of the society, and to develop boost their technology and businesses by AI.
So these type of events are crucial then to connect the dots.
Exactly. That's,
Okay.
I think AIM North is a fantastic, and I invite everyone who would like to learn new people and make connection to come to AIM North for this. Yes, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Watch the cord.
Okay, now we're gonna have the lady which is putting many startups into a Shark Tank.
The shark tamer, right? Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
How have you found the conference so far?
I mean, it's great for me. I mean, I'm meeting a lot of people that I've been working with for 2 years. I mean, I've never seen them on anything else than a Teams meeting screen. So
For example, us.
it's interesting to see how many people have legs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they actually do. Yeah, that's
Who
something
would've
new. Yeah, who would have known? Yeah, but isn't that? I mean, I think that, of course, going through the pandemic with all the restrictions and all, the fear and all that stuff, that's one thing. But just imagine what we've learned through those 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I must say that I love this virtual environment that we've been able to operate in. I mean, I'm sitting in Karlstad. It's a fairly small town in Sweden, and we've been able to work with people from all over the world, because we started our work, the Digital World Ventures Accelerator, after the pandemic. So we've been from day one. So I mean, the network we have with mentors and other amazing. Could never have built that before the pandemic. I don't know how that would have worked. You know?
But it's still nice to get back to meet people.
Yeah, I mean, you do get a certain different feel for a person where you
Yeah.
can see how that person, acts, moves.
Yeah.
You can feel the energy in a different way, definitely. So, but I must say, this virtual. I mean, we still do our program virtually. There's no other way.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
to be able to here and there actually meet in public, I mean, in person, that's just a great add-on.
Yeah, but talk a little bit about what you are doing.
Yeah, I'm one of the co-founders of Digital World Ventures, which is an accelerator program within health tech. And we're operating in the Nordic and the Baltics, but we're centered around the Oslo-Karlstad region. So that's what we do, and I'm specialized in the interaction between the public sector and startups. I'm also developing now a new GovTech incubator program where we're going to be able to work even more with that actual interaction. And Demand Accelerator, we're looking into what you can do within the framework of innovation procurement, pushing the legislation a bit, together with Vinnova, the Swedish Innovation Agency. So that's different sides of it. But what I'm going to do here today is mainly listen to 9 of our startups that are going to pitch in the Digital World Ventures Demo Day later this afternoon. So that's great.
Do you see any specific trends within startups right now? Is there any kind of certain areas that are more interesting to startups than others?
I would say that the big trend I see both with startups and with investors is this whole impact aspect. And I mean, of course, in my world, I mean, what kind of startup is not an impact startup? I mean, everyone has some kind of impact on something. I mean, otherwise you don't even exist. But it's been a greater interest in how to communicate that, how to actually try to prove that you create the values that you say that you create, and that you minimize the risks. And that's something I see across every field. It's no longer enough to say we address the sustainability goal number 3 because we are in health. That was maybe cool 2017, but it's not anymore. Now you need to say, what do you do? How do you do it? How can you prove that you do a difference? And that's also something that we see a big demand on from the investment side as well. So, I mean, my guess is that this kind of, we are impact startups, we're impact investors, are just going to disappear, because that's now becoming so integrated in in business that you can't see past it. So that's what I would say.
So but that's a good thing also, don't you think, that that's kind of now
Yeah.
turning into not something, but
No,
actually being part of the way we do business?
Yeah, it's because it's necessary, and more people see that, and I see that also from the venture capital and the business angels. They start seeing the capital as a tool to make a difference.
Any advice? I mean, if someone out there are watching now and thinking that, I might have a good idea, should I dare to start up for myself?
Yeah, I mean, I think you should do. You don't necessarily have to quit your day job, but read up a bit on the methodology and the tool that exists. Read your lean startup, read your customer development books. I mean, read up on the stuff so you know what you're doing, so you don't waste unnecessary resources in the way that you're building your company. Definitely.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And enjoy the conference.
I will. Thank you.
I think we can invite Paul now because he was having the role of having the almost first presentation, but he was bringing us back to medieval times.
Medieval times. Yeah.
It seems some tactics are still valid today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, hi, Paul.
Hello.
Hello. Enjoying the conference?
Very nice.
Yeah, that's
Very
good,
nice.
yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what you talked about, in addition to medieval times.
Yeah. So obviously a metaphor, right?
Yeah.
And I think it is about how you operationalize AI, how you make it sustainable over time, not just an experiment, but how you get it working in a real world context, right? So you see a lot of companies, they have AI strategies, they want to become data driven, but in reality, there are huge and complex challenges connected with that. How do you have the legal situation correct? What data do you begin with? Can you get a good use case to get started? How do you even make funding for something which you don't know what will become? How do you make data scientists and analysts collaborate? If you're in a cloud platform, can you take data outside of Norway or not? What is the stack to go for? Should you wait for something that comes out in 6 months or not? So this is a huge sort of fog of war, which makes it very hard to even know where to start and where to begin, right? And then these learnings from these chaotic situations in the past, it can teach us a lot about not that perfect methodology agile will solve all, but okay, this situation was important, at least communicate with everybody, make sure you understand that you understand, they understand you, and the reality of the situation matches what you think it is, right?
How do you see, the biggest, you talk about a lot of different challenges that we have, but if I were to kind of start to focus on one thing, what is the most important thing to get kind of order in to begin with?
Yeah, I think very close to this conference is privacy, getting the legal situation clear. How do you even structure a data warehouse or a data lake in a way where you have control of the data and where you respect the user's data, right? I think that's something that if not dealt with well, it's going to explode any discussion on any technical topic or any project scope, because you never know, okay, so do we have the clearing for using this data? Who sees it? Have we created clear roles for who can see it, etc., etc.? Yeah.
And that's kind of a minefield, but it's starting to get more kind of easy to overlook, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think to have collaboration on this, I mean, this conference is important, but I think a lot of the people talking here trying to work out the ecosystems, collaboration, I think solving those challenges are very important. And I think on the positive side, if we do solve that, and I mean, there's a lot of motivation to do it correct, it does give Norway or whatever country is solving it a specific advantage, because it means you have a respectful welfare system that respects the freedom of the individual also, and that is actually a competitive advantage compared to, maybe some countries we can think about. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Great to be here.
Yeah, thanks.
You have to watch the time maybe when you're starting up again.
We have someone which is going to actually lead the track, so we should just over here.
Move on.
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe a short introduction
Yeah,
would be in
of course.
place. As well.
I was so excited to listen to you actually, because I really enjoy when science is used for something today and emergent. And of course, what you are working on is really emergency of overall emergencies, maybe, because our time is very short. Can you tell a little bit about what you are doing to use AI for
well, what we do is try to build startups, corporates, use the academic partners, investors to help grow or to grow companies that are able to work on the green shift. And AI is an important factor of doing so. Not all companies are contributing to the green shift, but a lot of companies can do so. So our task is to build this ecosystem to ensure that these companies and the public sector are able to work on this huge topic.
Yeah. You're a change maker, basically.
Well, it's a big word, but we try to be that. Yeah.
But we heard, the previous, one of our guests, talked about, what we before kind of did on the side about environmental issues or the sustainability issues are now coming more and more part of the way we do business. Do you feel that, you too?
I do. I really do. And I see that this is a lot of companies see this as a huge opportunity also to make a profit. So it's not necessarily just doing the job because they have to, it's also because it's profitable. So that's a good combination, I think. And now we also see it's core business for a lot of companies. Now it used to be on the side, but now it's more into core business. I'm glad to see that.
Can you tell a little bit about the track that you're going to lead now?
Yeah, the track is on applied AI. I think that's really relevant to the speech I gave today as well, because applying this is really important, not just to be on the research side, but also to make it live in the society. So hopefully we'll get some nice speeches on that today. So I'm looking forward to hear all the talks there as well.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Go and take care of your track. Yeah. So and now we're starting up again in 10 minutes. I think. Yeah.
But we are switching buildings. So
we're switching buildings, so we have to wrap up here. But thank you so much. And what do you feel about the conference and what is happening now during the afternoon?
A lot is happening in the afternoon. There are 4 different tracks actually. What I'm personally interested in is the track 4, which is having the Shark Tank and the startups. Because what I'm feeling is that, as many of our guests said, like it might be a little bit difficult to make big corporations to maneuver around, absorb new tech and use them and adapt to their business practices, but we have many agile startups and they might actually bring us forward faster. So I'm excited watching that one today.
I think I'll join you there. So thank you for watching us in this lunch break update live from Explico's AIM to North symposium on AI, and this year the focus has been on AI and ethics. So just follow up on Explico, and then you'll see the next conference and symposium is up for grabs. Have a nice day.